Hi Dave, my name is Anita. I'm here today to have a look at how you're sitting at your desk and to try and see if we can improve your posture to prevent any kind of musculoskeletal problems.
That sounds great.
So the first thing that I would ask is, are you familiar with the controls of your chair?
Yes, how to raise and lower it.
How to raise and lower it. Do you know if it has any other functions at all?
I don't know.
Okay. It's quite important to try and look at the chair and all of its functions to get the best out of it. Some chairs have more functions than others, and so if you understand those functions, that can help with the setup a little bit. Can I just ask you just to stand up a minute, and I'm just going to show you the chair. All right. So on this particular chair, you've got the height adjust feature, which is this one on the right hand side, and when you pull that one up, the chair will go down. If you put your feet on the floor and lift your weight off the chair and lift the lever, that will allow you to adjust the height.
Okay.
The other one on this side of the chair you've got is a back tilt adjust. So what this one does is adjust the back tilt to a different angle. So if you release it, you can lean back, or if you want it to be more upright, you just bring it forward and then you lock it into position. Some chairs have other features as well, but those are the two on this particular chair. So
Okay.
I get you to sit on the chair and then to bring the chair into the desk so that your tummy is actually touching the desk. All right. The reason for that is if your tummy is touching the desk, you've also got a nice surface in front for you to rest your arms on, and it's more likely that you're going to be using the backrest appropriately.
Okay.
In terms of the height of the chair, what we'd ideally like is for your elbows to be about 90 degrees. So your chair could probably do with going up a little bit higher just to get that angle. It's this side. Okay, and just...
That's the maximum height it goes to, unfortunately.
Right, okay. And then just pull that in again so that your tummy is touching the desk. So with the back, do you feel as though you're getting good support in the backrest?
I feel like it'd be further forward.
Right, so if you adjust that aside. Okay. And then in terms of positioning, one of the things that's quite important is the position of your head. So if you look around an office environment, commonly what you'll see is that people are kind of sitting with the head over the desk and over the keyboard. Whereas if you put your chin back over your spine, you're going to find that your head and line are in a better alignment.
Okay.
Okay. So what we then look at is your arms resting on the desk. You've got a nice surface area to spread the weight. If you're resting your wrist on the edge of the desk like that, you're distributing the weight to a very small area, and that can cause some problems.
Okay.
So if you're using the desk surface to rest your arms on, you're distributing that weight. We would then look at your computer and your visual gaze to the screen, and in an ideal world I would have this laptop put on a docking station or on a laptop stand, because what you really need is a bit of separation between the keyboard and the screen itself. That will allow you to have your visual gaze at a slightly higher level whilst actually working separately on the keyboard. So if I were recommending to your employer something different at this stage, I would suggest something to elevate the laptop and a separate keyboard that allow you to work at a slightly better angle.
Okay.
In terms of things like telephones, do you use a telephone for your work quite often?
Yes, I do.
So would you use the telephone simultaneously with using the computer?
Not really.
Okay. If you do, I would usually recommend you have a headset so that you're actually able to keep your hands free whilst actually listening to the person on the phone. And having your telephone close to hand so you don't have to continuously reach for it is also a good idea.
Okay.
In terms of an input device, would you use a mouse or a other form of input device?
Yes, I do use a mouse as well.
Yeah. So I would usually suggest that you keep your mouse close to hand so that you're not having to stretch overly. You're keeping it close to the side of the keyboard, and that you've got flexibility of the movement. So keeping the desk free from clutter, making sure that you've got a smooth surface that's clean that you can use easily for freedom of movement.
Okay.
In terms of documents, if you are having to input documents, so if you're having to actually put data into the computer, having a document holder is quite handy, because that means that your visual gaze is actually a little bit directed towards small eye movements rather than having to move your head each time you're looking at the document.
Okay.
And in terms of any other equipment, do you use any other forms of equipment?
Mobile phone?
Mobile phone. Where do you keep your mobile phone?
On the desk.
Okay. In terms of your legs and seated posture, if your leg length is fully supported by the chair, that's quite important, because that prevents pressure on the back of the knee, but it gives you a maximum amount of length to support the thigh. Your feet should be either on the floor, or in some people we would usually recommend a footrest, but you don't need one in this case.
Okay.
Are you comfortable in your position?
Yes, it's a comfortable chair.
Okay, you're not sitting on any mobile phones or wallets or anything like
wallet.
that. You're sitting on your wallet, are you? It might be a good idea to remove your wallet from the back pocket if that's what you're doing, because
Okay.
that can compress the sciatic nerve and cause some
Right.
pain. If you just remove your wallet from your back pocket, Dave, that's just going to make it a little bit more comfortable.
Actually, yes, that's a bit better.
Okay. The other thing I would usually recommend is that you don't sit at your desk on a continuum without taking some breaks. So after 20 minutes, I would usually recommend a micro break, where you simply stand up and just do some gentle stretching exercises, look at your posture, look at your chair. Every 60 to 90 minutes, take 5 minutes or so away from your desk altogether, and that may mean walking to go and get a drink, or just using the stairs, so that you're actually making sure that you do mobilise.
Okay, thank you.
There are some other exercises that might be worth us just talking about in terms of gentle neck stretches. So you can do these with me if you like.
Okay.
What I would suggest is that you just gently turn your chin over your right hand shoulder, just keeping your head in alignment and just gently pushing around till you can look a little bit further, and then look back to the front. And then the same on the right hand side, where you actually look over your left hand shoulder, and then just gentle stretch, and then just a gentle chin on your chest, and then chin back in alignment over your spine, making sure that your head is over your back. All right.
Okay, thank you.
So that would be what we would look for in a desk assessment. So every time you sit down, make sure that you adjust your chair, make sure that you look at the posture, make sure that you look at the height of your screen, and make sure that you take your breaks on a regular basis. All of those things can be helpful.
Okay, thank you very much.